All right, so we have our program and we have our fish going along, and I can click the fish, and when I miss, eventually the game ends. What I want to do first though is I want to clean up our code a little bit because I really want to add some more stuff, but it's getting kind of unwieldy when we look at all of the code that we have. So one thing we can do when we start scrolling through this is any of our functions, we can see the little drop down here, I can minimize that so I don't have to scroll past that code anymore. So I'm going to do the same thing for the mouse pressed function. So there you go, it looks a little bit more simple. But what I want to do is I want to simplify the draw and only put in there what needs to be there. So right now we have these lines that draw text, but we might add more text later. But what I want to do is I want to take these out of here and I want to create a function to put them in. So I'm going to create a new function and I'm going to call it print text. And again, I could call it anything I want. I just want to make it slightly descriptive. And I'm going to paste that there. Then I have to make sure to call that function in my draw. And now when I run that, everything works exactly the same as it did before, only now rather than those 2 or 3 lines for printing the text, I now just call print text. Then I draw fish, and that's already a thing, right? Because we already have all of the draw fish code hidden down in our draw fish function. Again, I could have all of this code inside my draw, but by keeping it down here, it keeps it 2 things. 1, it keeps it out of my way. And 2, that means when I'm editing or adding more stuff to my code, I don't inadvertently break the code that works already. By hiding it in its own function, I can more easily keep my code organized, but I can also protect it from me because sometimes I mess things up. All right, so now line 19 is the line that increases the value of x, which causes our fish to move. And then down through line 26 here, that's where it makes it reappear. So this is all involved with moving the fish. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to come down, I'm going to add another new function. And I give it a very descriptive name of move fish. And I'm going to paste my code in there. And then I'm going to minimize it and come back up and make sure I call move fish. And again, nothing is different in the way it operates. So it's very easy to see what's going on. All right, so so right now we can see that my draw starts, I clear the screen, then I print some text, then I draw the fish, then I move the fish, and then I check to see if the game is over. If the game's not over, I loop back around and I do all of those things again. So this is one way to keep our code organized and then also protected. Again, I can now add stuff to my draw without breaking anything else. The other thing that happens is if I run into a problem or a bug with, say, the way the fish is moving, I just go right to the move fish function, and that's where I'm going to look for the problem. So I'll know exactly where to look also. What I really wanted to do now is I want to have a game over function. Because what should happen when the game is over? So right now, this happens right here. So this asks, is the game over? And then what I want to have in here is I want whatever happens when the game is over to happen. So I'm going to cut this out of here. I'm going to paste it in down here. And again, I'm going to call game over. And again, all I've done is rearrange my code, but I haven't added anything yet. So now I can miss, I can score a couple of points, and then my game is over. But what else should happen besides it stopping from looping? I should print some text on the screen to tell the user that they just lost. So I might put a text function in here. I got to figure out where to put it. I don't know. No clue. I'm just making numbers up right now. So now, oh, that's not a good spot, is it? Or maybe it's the perfect spot, but the problem is it's on top of the old stuff. So here's the thing. Do I still need to know that the lives are 0? I don't. So in reality, I could make a whole game over screen, right? I could make a whole game over screen. So if I want to do that, I might want to clear the screen. How do I clear the screen again? Right, I use the background function. So if I do this now, when I run it and lose, here we go. Let's see if I can, how many points can I get before I lose? I'm not very good at this game. I lost, but what was my score? So I might want more on my game over screen. So why don't I also go ahead and put my score there? I'm just going to go to my print text function and grab this one line and go ahead and put that right here. So that way when I lose, my score will still be on the screen. There we go. Now my score is still on the screen. And I might want to make it so that my things match up a little better because it's not very clean. So far so good. And then the one last thing we want to add, and the main reason we're cleaning up our code to some degree, is because what I really want is I want to add the ability to do a click to restart. And it'll be much easier to think about how this works if our code is somewhat organized to start with. So what I want is when the game is over, and again, you can start working on this now. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. But I want it to be able to, when you click to restart, the game will restart without me having to click play again. That's my goal. So what I want you to do today is clean up your code, just like I talked about. And then I want you to add a game over screen, maybe add some more to it. Mine's kind of blah. And then start to think about what a click to restart would look like.